Hey, this is Tamago. Welcome back to Railing. I'm here standing at the Cliffside Mesa MTR station that we built in the previous episode, continuing the explorer's line from Tradesville over a body of water, as well as along the cliffside, haha, of the Tradesville village. But yeah, today is going to be a similar thing where we are continuing this line to, in this case, the Mushroom Island. Although it's a special one because it's going to be the last station in phase 1 of Explorer's Line after 3 whole years of the series. Long overdue, but it is finally happening. So yeah, I'm very, very excited. So let's get right into it, shall we? But in this case, we are not going to go into building because we don't have the tracks laid out yet, unlike last time. But I do have a plan. So the Mushroom Island is located over here. So one could just curve directly over there and have a nice gentle curve. But then I would have to suffer through the pain of curve building all the way, all the way out here, which I don't want to do. So I think I'll go in a straight line over this body of water over here. And then I can go down, slope down into the ocean. And then I can curve slightly here and then go diagonally to the Mushroom Island. Now, people did point out in the previous episode that indeed these are quite tight curves, which I would agree. They don't look very good on the map in hindsight, and they don't look very good either when riding on it. So I'll try to avoid that by giving more space. So yeah, I think we're going to go a long way straight down. So it's a good idea to add some temporary waypoints here. So one is on to base other side, and the one is towards the Mushroom Island. And then just like the other side where we have a bit of space here between the platform tracks and the continuing tracks, I will also add a couple of blocks beyond this extension here so that I can tunnel crater this easily with a 5-block wide thing without destroying our build. So something like that. And I should put my torch away for now so it doesn't do that. Okay. So I want a width of 5 and a height of 5 as well. So I'm going to click the tunnel crater here as well as the rail connector. So when we get to the other side, we can directly connect them. Okay, so that connector should go all the way across this water here, probably over in this place on the hill. Nice place to end the bridge. So the one towards Mushroom Island is at this coordinate. So I took a quick screenshot of that. So let us align ourselves with that. So that is with the Z coordinate of minus 1414, which is over here. And now we need to dig down to Y84. Place a rail node over here, place our rail connector, and that should be straight ahead. And then put our tunnel crater. And look as it goes. I'm missing the S there. All right, looks like it has correctly emptied that out. Very nice. And we just repeat this for this thing. Oh, probably should have started over there, should I? Okay, just to double check, let's take a look at the Z coordinate. So this minus 1418. Which is over here. There you go. And then we just have our connector, our tunnel crater, and we fly to the other side. I should stop saying other side. I just can't stop making that pun. It's a bit too fun. Okay, like that. And then here comes the tunnel crater once again. And a creeper. I did dig a hole through there before when I was trying to wayfind, but I started over because it was much easier to just use the waypoint instead of trying to draw a straight line all the way over there. Okay. And next up, we should curve down into the ocean. So remember, this was 84, and I don't think we need more waypoints because we are still going straight. But let us go down to the ocean. Ooh, unfortunately, this is not a nice side. So I think we have to dig down a bit here. It's a bit of a cliff down to the ocean instead of being flat. I should take a look at what the coordinates are on the sea level. So it is Y63, so let's head there. So that's Y63 over here. And then we place our rail nodes and go in that direction again with the tunnel crater. Okay, we are here. And then before we put the tunnel crater into use, let us take a look at what it roughly looks like. So, ooh, it's a bit of a steep one. Not sure if that will be a very nice ride. So the steepest part is here, which I think is still barely acceptable. Or actually, perhaps an alternative we could try is to just not go down there. Oh, that wouldn't... Yeah, I guess it makes a bit of a difference. Just stay on this cliff over here, or this hill, I guess. And then go just slightly above the water instead of in the water. So that would be somewhere over here. And I guess I can extend this thing over here just to give some more space to curve down because it was very, very tight before. So that was 18 over here. So start over again, try again. All right, place this down and hopefully that looks a bit better. Oh, let's see. Yeah, that is a much gentler slope. It's still a bit steep, but I think I can live with that. Okay, it's time to hit the tunnel crater over here. There you go. And then do the same thing on the other side. Stop saying other side. On the other direction towards Mushroom Island. So minus 1414, that's over here. I just click that and then tunnel crater that the other way. And there you go. That's basically a clear line of sight over there. And we just need to curve slightly and we should be there. That might be a good candidate actually. Speaking of curving there, assuming we have enough of a radius. Let's take a look. So this is Y70. So let's head there and flatten this out to Y70. Or at least try to go to Y70. I think that should be around here maybe if we're talking about making it even. Is that enough for a radius? Maybe we go on this side of the hill. Or I don't know what this is called. It's like a rock, I guess. It's a very nice form though, so I don't want to destroy all of it, although this pickaxe is very quick and powerful. Try to leave a bit of it there. Okay, so Y70 over here. Let's try to place this as close as possible to the edge. And, oh, we can see the Mushroom Island a bit there using, what is it, distant horizons. So I think we can go at a more slight angle and still hit it. It might be dead center or just even slightly off here even. Oh no, it's too tight, I think. Okay, so it does work for the left one, but not for the right one. I wonder why. Oh no, this is at a 45-degree angle. That's why it worked. Okay. Because the thing is, if we do a 45-degree angle, we will land somewhere over here. So quite a ways off. So what if we try a 45-degree angle and then we tighten it up a bit somewhere down the line? Let's see if we could do that. Okay, this is coming in this way. Like so. Nice. And this is coming in this way. There you go. Nice. All right. Because we are doing this 45-degree angle at a very long distance, I will mark these coordinates on a mini-map. And then once we have these, we could just go in a certain direction and add or subtract the same number to both the X and Z coordinates. So we are sure that we are exactly at 45. So we don't get some weird angles in the middle. Okay, I think it's nice for us to land somewhere over here because that gives us enough time to curve to go flat over here. And we should arrive on this south side of the island. So we are approximately at negative 3,600. This is negative 2,700. And we're becoming more negative. So let's try to subtract 400 maybe. Oh, that's still a bit too much. So let's try to subtract 50, which is close to where we are, 350. So that was minus 3,626. And for the Z coordinate, we are becoming more positive. So we will add 350 to that, which is minus 1022. So all in all, we have minus 3,626 and minus 1022. And that is one of the sides, in particular the one to the Mushroom Island. And it is a Y coordinate of 70. And then for the other one, I think I can just predict. I'm pretty sure the way I've been doing it is we have 3 blocks in the middle. So it should be exactly over here. And that seems all right eyeballing it. Oh yes, perfect landing. And that looks like an exact 45-degree angle. Okay, now it's time to curve to the right, and we might have gotten slightly too close, but I do want to scrape this land over here, so make it a bit more interesting. Yeah, look at that. Nice cave entrance, water cave. Let's try somewhere on the edge over here, see how we go. Still going quite straight over there, and I think it only curves nearer there, which is fine. Hopefully that leads to something quite smooth. Yep, very gentle, and oh, over that open cave. I did not plan that. That's going to be another cool bridge there, maybe some glass, right? I'm tempted to just continue over here, but that's going to miss the mark quite off with the Mushroom Island. So we're just going to stay here, and whoop, that's a slight angle mistake. Okay, and then the fun part, which is the tunnel creator. Okay, this one. And then on the other side, stop falling. I guess that's my punishment for saying other side again. And there you have it. Nice little tunnel over here with this opening. I think this will be quite fun to build with in the very near future. Whoop. And here comes the last stretch over here. And I think I do want to go down to sea level because I'm kind of done building above the ground. It's not a good idea though. This side is actually quite hilly. I didn't realize that. Wow. Yeah, actually, I think we should go down in this case to add some variation to the builds we've been doing. This seems like a nice spot to make a station. So it was minus 937 on the Z coordinate. Okay, minus 937 over here. And then there should be 3 blocks and then the other one. And it's going to be quite a challenging build, I think, to build curves this gently, but something new, you know? And hopefully it'll be a much, much nicer ride than what we've had in the other parts of the Explorer's line. All right, looking very good. Look at that. Very gentle ramp. And this one. Oh, nailed it. And I think that should be it. And then all there's left to do here is just to build up to the station, which I will set up after we finish the monumentous task of building these bridges. And then we'll get onto the station after that. But for now, let's get into some of the building, shall we? So I am starting with the bridge nearest to the Cliffside Mesa station because it is in the Mesa, and this is the thing I'm most familiar with. Starting with the thing I'm most sure about in building typically helps me out because, yeah, it is quite scary for me. A very open creative task. But yeah, same block palette as before. We have the yellow lines on the left and the right, as well as the white line in the middle, just the line markers, and some light gray terracotta on top of the torches. And slightly different there, we have some red terracotta for the floor because that's what was seen in the tunnel. So I wanted to continue that to blend it with the natural area. We also have some sandstone pillars there, similar to before, capped with some smooth stone slabs just to add as guardrails without inhibiting the view, which I do like. It's quite nice. Over here, I'm just refining the tunnel a bit. Instead of just having the stairs, I tried to make it similar to the station, although I made it slightly higher, so it turned out a bit different. But yeah, it is what it is. You see some glass, some terracotta up there, some different colors. Next up is this huge gap that we have to fill in with the bridge on top of a very wide river. I started off with some pillars made out of acacia wood. I thought I would switch it up a bit, make it a bit different because it is quite a big bridge. We have some brown terracotta on the sides and decided to use some glass over here that I had to smelt because I ran out. Just to keep the open feel. I like to do that on top of big areas like this so you could see below, even though you can't really in a train, but you know, at least from above you could still see the waters below and how high you are. There's some yellow glazed terracotta there just to indicate, special indicators that, hey, you're on a bridge. But we'll revisit that later. I wasn't sure how to make it structurally sound then, so decided to, again, go with something I feel more comfortable with, which is over here into the desert. Switching up the palette here with a more sandstone-heavy palette to mix in with the environment better. And we have some terracotta to line the sides still, just different color based on what I had the most of. But then now that we go to the side here, you could see the plain terracotta pillars that we use here to keep it up a bit close to each other. But yeah, you can see some lanterns down there as well, which I tried to place throughout all my bridges because I don't like having dark areas underneath there. But yeah, we are finally at the sea, curving here into a very, 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 very long diagonal segment. But yeah, I decided to use the plainest thing I could think of, which is just some stone and some cobble together and some stone bricks, because it's going to be a very long way. As you see in this 4-way split screen. Tried to do something cool to replay mod here. Don't know how it turned out, but yeah, it was quite a monotonous task. Fortunately, I had some YouTube videos that I listened to while doing this. But yeah, this is the most abundant resource we have: stone, cobblestone, and even then, I kind of almost ran out. But yeah, now we're back to the single stream to just kind of give you an indication of how far this was, how long it took to make. But yeah, it is fortunately just like straight diagonal, so it's quite easy to build, as you can see over here. Instead of having to manage the curves, which is what we're doing next up, by the way. But another split screen here, lighting it up. It's a very satisfying process. And on the right, I'm just building the pillars up. Originally, I wanted to do alternating stone bricks and cobblestone, as you saw there, but I ran out. Ran out of stone. You see, we use a lot on the bridge, so I started using cobblestone for the pillars, especially in these later parts where we get quite deep to the ocean. So it takes up a lot of cobblestone per pillar. Okay, finally, we're here. Yeah, so there's a small acacia, not acacia, savanna biome segment. So still continuing the cobble palette here just to finish it off there. And I mostly left the tunnels intact and tried to make it structurally sound by holding it up with some acacia beams. So every 7 blocks or so, we have some pillars, and then we have some acacia slabs to hold it up. I'm not sure what I was thinking here. Yeah, I thought like some kind of curve or holding thing, so I don't have to replace, the whole ceiling. I could just add to it, which is just a bit easier. And I thought it turned out okay. Definitely something new for me to try. Hopefully, though, it won't be too low for the trains, but we'll see, I guess, very soon. That would be quite bad because it's still quite a while to make. But yeah, again, before we have the glass here because I like to, acknowledge the fact that, hey, we're going over a body of water. It's pretty cool, So that's there. And we have some lanterns in the middle there as well, just to light it up a bit more. I also added some supporting beams throughout. So it's not just horizontally, but also, I guess, following the tracks as well, just to add more support. And here we are at the very final stretch. I decided to split screen this because I think I'm almost out of things to talk about. It's more of the same thing, really. I switched up to tough again because I was running out of cobblestone. So that's that. But yeah, this is the very last slope before the Mushroom Island. Speaking of, it is quite surreal, honestly, to be building this close to this far away of a place. I'm very, very excited to finish this up very soon. But yeah, we have the regular torches in the middle there. And yeah, I cut it out here, but there's some lanterns underneath the bridge. Last but not least, before we get to the exciting station, is the arch. Yeah, so this was how I decided to make this more structurally stable. I looked at the types of bridges, and the arch bridge was the one I haven't tried because I am very afraid of doing curves in Minecraft. But, well, after a lot of attempts, here's what it turned out like. So I just use a simple rule of slowly curving more, what do you say it, like less of a steeper gradient? So like 3, 3, 2, 2 ascent for the fences. Does it make any sense? Yeah, anyway, it looked a bit skinny after all, but there's no fence walls, unfortunately. But yeah, it is what it is. But yeah, quite happy with how it turned out with the hanging lights there. It looks very cool at night. And I just added some supporting beams on the ends of the bridge there. All right, here we are at the Mushroom Island. So station time. I thought of initially placing it over the water over there and building a bridge, but there's this nice little indent in the island. So perhaps we can make use of it. It might be a slightly tight curve, but I think it'll look pretty nice if we have our stop over there. It also means that I don't have to build a bridge over the tracks. I could just, dig into this mountain here to access the other platform and use the natural landmass. Again, I really, really like using natural structures like that. But I think this should be okay. Hopefully the stone connectors aren't too bad, but yeah, for 40 kilometers per hour, just for this short segment here is nice slowdown, I suppose. And we will have our standard 20 block platform over here. And that is how far 20 blocks is. Nicely aligns with the wall over here. So we'll place our rail nodes over here, get rid of the tape measure. That's enough. And that would be where our station would be. And there you go, that's a building complete. And I can nicely, safely work at night without any mobs because it is in the Mushroom Island. However, there are a bunch of skeletons in the area because there is conveniently a mob spawner located here. I was wondering where all that noise is coming from, also on the minimap. Okay, there is a pathway here via this cave. Okay, and now that we are at the end of the line, we can actually make proper turn back rails. yeah, this is going to be the setup over here. So we'll have a bit of a spacer over here, and this will go crisscrossing, I think. Yeah, this can only go, yeah, this is from the one from base other side. So this can only go to here and to here. And once it's gone to these turnbacks, it can only go from here to here. Okay. And I guess we can set up the signaling in a bit. And this is where they will turn back. And I have run out of hunger. Jeez. So we'll have 2 turn back rails. Not necessary, but I guess it's kind of nice to have the end of a line. And let's try to do the signaling here. So I guess everything can come. Well, everything is overlapping with each other, I think. So it's just going to be one signal, I think. So something like that. Let's say they're all blue. So only one train can be on this area at a time. So I don't know how much of a benefit it's going to have 2, but we have the space for it anyway. So I guess one can wait in here when this is busy. So hopefully that will cause less clogging. But I don't know. There you go. That's the rail setup over there. So finally, I think this will be the very, very, very last time I set this up on the railway dashboard for the Explorers line. So let us draw the station outline over here. So add the station like so. Call it the Mushroom Island. The stations in the direction of Mushroom Island would be called number 1. And the one to base other side would be called number 2. We can go into the routes, and westbound would have a new station at the very end. It will be platform number 1. And then we can change up this signage here. The do not board thing to all the way at the end. And then eastbound, we add platform number 2 as the very first one in this case. And that should be it. If I go to the depots and add instructions to first go westbound and eastbound, right? From base other side to here, and then from here to base other side. Refresh path. Path generated successfully. And we should see some trains in, well, albeit a very, very long time. But that's a basic station done, so I will get onto building. So replay modding once again. So yeah, this was a relatively confusing build. I didn't really know what I was doing, so I just tried to extend the pillars we already have made out of tuff, but I didn't end up liking the frame. And I also ran out of tuff. So I replaced the horizontal beams with some oak logs, which is the wood type that I have the most of. So just using based on what I have. And I think it turned out okay. I used some glass here because I wanted to keep the open area into a very nice view. So that's why it's there. And it just added some cobblestone walls around there to add some depth and the guardrails. And now back to the platforms themselves. Again, the glass. And all I knew with this build is I wanted to use some leaves because I know they are very, very green in the Mushroom Island. And I think they look great. So yep, that's that coming in. But I didn't want to have leaves as the sole roof of the platforms because rain would come in. So yeah, I added some glass on top of that. And then we just have a simple roof right there to add some height variation because I thought it was a bit flat. But yeah, mostly slabs as the roof there. Underneath here, I just added some lights. Some of it is slightly obscured with the leaves, which is good. I think too many lanterns can look pretty bad. And before, for a split second there, I was just experimenting with banners. I thought, yeah, I could probably add something there later on. And yep, this is where the entrance would be. So I just dug out and it led to this open area. So I just duplicated the same thing. And we also have some cobblestone slabs in the ceiling. Now, speaking of this cobblestone ceiling that I had this idea from the mob spawner that we had before. This is actually the floor of the mob spawner that was found before. It does have mossy, we don't have that here. But the feature I copied was the fact that these are full blocks. And they are like random blobs because this is the whole floor. It's a square. So I just added random blobs off here to make it slightly consistent. So yeah, it's an interesting feature, I think. Again, I really like having these natural things. Really gives me a lot of inspiration for the very uncreative me. And look at this unplanned view. Oh, wow. Imagine just walking to the station and just look right like, oh, look at that. So beautiful. And then you go over here, look at the sunset in this case, over the horizon. You go down here, even more of that land far away. Ah, it's so good. such good views here, and hence the very open design. But yeah, now it is finally time to get the station stuff up. First things first, I think we're going to do the ticket barriers. I wanted to place them here in the frame that has been set, but don't know if it's too close to the escalators. It probably should be fine. Let's just give it a try. So something like this. Like that. Yeah, I think it should be fine. It makes the most sense to me. And then we're going to have our staff entrance in the middle. We're finally almost out of the pressure plates that I believe I accidentally created. So we've been using plenty of that. And then we have our typical staff-only signs here. And now it is time for the railway signs. I think we will do 3E. Yeah, should be fine. Yep, perfect. So E for even alignment, in this case 2 blocks, and the 3 means 3 tiles as you see over here. So this would be the entrance to the trains. Where is it? Here you go. This other side would be the no entry. Okay, and this other side would be our exit, which means we actually have to set it up over here. So edit button, add station exit. And I think for our destination, it is the center of the island, so it's called island center. And now over here, I can add that as our exit. This is again a no entry, and that is our entrance done. Let's grab some ticketing machines and place them on this wall over here. And I think it's nice if we light up this view at night. There you go, looking a bit brighter over there. And I think we can add our inquiry processor just beside here so people can check their funds. And we should add the station entrance sign over here. I've already placed the MTR logo over there. But yeah, there you go. Mushroom Island Station. You make it a bit bigger. Or actually, I think that size fits fine. And perhaps it'll be nice if I let people know that this is the Explorer's line. There you go. And this would be your exit. Okay, moving along to here. I think we can try a 5 wide sign. So we have the O alignment. That. Not wide enough. Let's try the 7 wide. There you go. So this would be towards base other side. So that's platform number 2. And please don't enter here. And on the back, we will just say towards the right is the exit. Maybe it's a bit better if we have that, like that, the exit sign, because it is a very long sign. And on the other side, it would be no entry because this is the terminating station. Finally, for once. Not sure how to do this. Maybe I'll just do a single X for symmetry. And then similarly over here to the right is the exit. Awesome. And we are out of signs again. It's actually quite costly to make these things. Okay, make them both odd and we should be good over here. Ahead, it is the exit towards the island center, and please do not go on this other side. We duplicate that over here. And on the back here, I will just copy what we already have just to assure people that they are on the right platform. And yeah, over here, it's just a bunch of X's again. And over here, we place some Explorer's Line signs. Yes, I didn't forget this time. Keep forgetting that. Okay, and then we probably should place some station names. I forgot about that. So it is common practice for me to have the MTR logo and then the station name on the right-hand side on top of Blackstone, like that. Oh, this one's going to be awkward. I guess we can just place a bit of dirt down here and pretend that it was there the whole time. There you go. Place a bit more station names on the pillars. Unfortunately, it is gray, so it's not the best contrast. And of course, we have our maps. This one will, of course, be empty, but we'll just have that. And this one to base other side with all the stops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I suppose I could also place the route signs outside over here. Or actually, there should just be a single one because the other one's blank. Okay, just a couple more signs. We need signs leading to the exit. We don't have much of that yet. And also probably just one more on the ends here. It is just slightly covered, but I think it's all right. Okay. And now we need our PIDs. I suppose we can place them near the front side. So that would be here. Although I think it would be kind of nice to have a bit more. So let's just duplicate that on the opposite end. There you go. Let us have some seating over here. Let's have some flour over there. I'm placing them on the side that is furthest away from the elevator, by the way, the escalators. So we have some space for people to get on there. There you go. As a finishing touch, I added some flowering azaleas over here on top of rooted dirt with some trapdoors to hide away the dirt a bit. And over here, just one last sign to read passengers to the exit and some cauldrons with leaves on top of them to add a bit of greenery in this corner. But I think that's the end of today's video, the end of the Explorers line as well. Very exciting. But yeah, hope you enjoyed this video and I guess this whole series up to this point. Yeah, there's nothing left to say really. So yeah, thank you for watching. Have a good rest of your day. And if you're watching near the time of upload, happy Easter to you all. We are now going to ride to the previous station from here.